I think we need to deal with Villa on their own because they don't fit into any kind of category. So they're now in their third season in the Championship. Huge spend in the first season. I think copying the Newcastle model that you said. Playoff finalists last season, although they didn't lay a glove on Fulham in that final. All sorts of ownership stuff in the summer, Kieran. FFP threats, and you talked about Dr. Tony earlier. Um, it looks like Villa gambled and they've got away with it, but they're not going up unless Jack Grealish plays every game like he played last week for the last 10 games and they win every game. What happens next year if they're still down? Parachutes stop?
Um, then it's a big fire sale. If they don't go up this season, it's very difficult to see how Villa can survive in that division without getting their big earners off the payroll. So in 2018, as you say, Dr. Tony, he's great entertainment on Twitter. We all love having a laugh with him. Oh, look, he's engaging with the fans.
He goes around and gives them high fives. I've seen him do that at the ground. Although I did see Mr. Chansiri on Monday night after the Sheffield derby came out puffing hard on this cigarette. Looked like he'd had a very stressful 2 hours. So I think they're all quite entertaining, these guys. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, and he was great, and he backed the manager. So in 2017, this was when Villa are in Villa are in the Championship. They spent 88 million quid on new players, just absolutely insane, and they had a wage bill of 61 million. You're looking at that. Well, the club can't carry on like that forever. And then the following season, what he realised was it's now or never. I've got to go up this season. So the wage bill went up by another 20%. He's paying wages of 73 million pounds.
Terry and Snodgrass, yeah.
That's right. And you've got and what Villa did, that they took this. They did. To be fair, they took a short-term approach in just signing big players on loan deals. So they didn't actually spend very much as far as player signings were concerned. I think it was less than 2 million. But of course, if you've got the likes of John Terry and Snodgrass on mega salaries, and then they've also said to other players who were perhaps thinking about leaving, here's another 2-year deal on 40 grand a week, and the player signs on the dotted line. So the money was flooding out of the club. It has been flooding out for under Dr. Tony's regime from day one. Initially, my understanding, he was flying across from Hong Kong with a suitcase full of cash, and that cash was being paid into Villa's bank account, and everything was hunky dory. And all of a sudden, where's Tony? Where's Tony? He's not turned up this week with his suitcase full of cash. And all of a sudden, the people realised actually he hasn't got any. He's burned his way through all of his cash. And Villa were in a very, very precarious position.
How did they get out of it, Kieran?
They managed to sell the club to new owners. It was a panic sale, and the new owners, the sort of I can never remember their names. North, South, West, East. That's what I can remember. NSWE or whatever it is. They came in, and fair play to them. They just allowed Villa's bills to be paid. I think HMRC and other creditors were circling around. There was a danger of the club being liquidated, not even going to administration, of everything being flogged off. They stuck in 65 million quid, and you've got to give them credit for that. And I think this season, they have backed both Dean Smith and Steve Bruce in the loan market, and by getting Jack Grealish to sign a new contract, and they've had a fairly decent go at it. If you got Tammy Abrahams there on a loan deal, there will be a loan fee to Chelsea, and he will be paid a considerable sum himself.
But Kieran, it sounds like from what you're saying, the Grealish deal is just purely to ring fence the prize asset, and they're going to have to sell if they don't go up. He won't be there in August, will he then?
I can't see him being there, because looking at the FFP calculations that I've done and other people have done, when you're dropping out of the parachute payments, you've got so much less money coming through the door. How do you get your wage bill down from 73 million quid last season to, realistically, you need to get it down to 30? You need to get rid of all your biggest earners. Now, a couple of those biggest earners will be on loans, but Balassi was, Tammy Abrahams has been, but all the same, there's still an awful lot of established first team squad there who have been paid extremely well, and you'd expect to see them being encouraged to leave or out of their own free will deciding to move on in terms of their career opportunities.
Interesting.